Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. We have two updates and the big story for today. You're going to want to watch this video all the way to the end. I put in some examples of how happy Harry is now that he's quit his job. All right, let's just jump right in and get going, shall we? Let's go. I don't know how many more versions we're going to have to hear. We heard Meghan and Harry's version on the Oprah show, most of which was proven to be a lie. Then, of course, we heard what Harry had to say on Dax Shepard. Then we had Finding Freedom, which it's now been proven they literally wrote themselves. You know, they just keep coming out with more and more stories. Well, finally, they're going to address what they did, what Harry and Meghan did when Prince Philip was dying. According to Neil Sean, they're going to get their side of the story out. I guess they're not going to use Omid Scobie this time for a book. No, in Harry's book, he wants to bring up why they went ahead with that interview, even though the palace asked them not to because Philip was so sick. Let's not forget that Meghan Markle's friends came out and said that the royal family was using Prince Philip's illness as an excuse to muzzle her. And apparently the royal family did ask them to delay broadcasting that because they knew how ill Prince Philip was, and Harry and Meghan said no. The second update I wanted to do was on the link with Harry and that Saudi prince. He's apparently mad and felt that he was forced to respond over a fake connection. The article that came out in the Times reported that Harry agreed to meet this Saudi prince in 2013 following the donation to his charity, and there are pictures of them shaking hands. You know what? As usual, the news said it best. Watch this.
Prince Harry is in trouble, so he's immediately panicked and tried to blame his dad, which you know, you got to respect the gutlessness of that.
Boom, drop the mic. Moving on to our next story. And just remember, we're supposed to believe that Harry recognized the Saudi prince's motives and dropped him like a hot potato. Okay. In the big story of today, apparently Prince Harry has told people and urged people that they should quit their jobs to help with their mental health. And how many people around the world have been stuck in jobs that don't bring them joy? He said that quitting your job for mental health is something that should be celebrated. Here's the problem. As usual, how would Harry know anything? He knows zippo about life, what it takes to survive on your own, what it's like to not be able to put food on the table. He's had it easy his whole life. He has no clue. As this Twitter follower pointed out, Prince Harry has never worked. And without his family at age 37, he doesn't have the equivalent of a high school diploma. He would not be admitted to university, and even his army stay was cut short. His entire life has been paid for by somebody else. Martin Townsend pointed out that most people don't have the luxury to pick and choose what they do. And the fact that Harry was able to turn his back on duty and service and his family for money doesn't mean everybody else should do it. I'm Starting Over pointed out that Harry does not have a degree in psychology or social work, but keeps saying that he's an expert, which clearly he isn't. Most people don't have millions of dollars in trust fund money to fall back on. You guys know that I love Australian news, and here's their thoughts on Harry's suggestion that you should quit your job.
Prince Harry back in the news. Now he's telling people, if you don't like your job, better rock off and get another job. Now, for sure, he was talking about mental health, but this hasn't been well received by people. Let's face it, his job, when you got $25 million Spotify deal, $150 million contract with Netflix, and what did he do again to get it? Oh, yes, that's right. He's the Queen's grandson. That's right. That's his qualification.
Mike Graham's show also had something to say that I thought was spot on. Listen to this.
The bank, you'll be all right.
It's, Prince Harry telling everyone that actually quitting your job could be a good thing. Well, I would suggest that a lot of them are going to find out that the reason you have a job is to get money.
Yes.
And if you don't have any money, you're going to find you have a lot more mental health problems than you did when you had a job and you had money. So thank you very much for your vital intervention, Your Royal Highness, but shut your privileged trap.
Yes, quite
What
right.
the hell
too.
is he talking about?
I know.
We all know that this company, Better Up, brought Harry on board to be I think it's called a chimpo in Japan. He is the Chief Impact Officer, but it's not a real job. I'm sure most of you could figure that out. It's a fake role created for politically correct companies to get a celebrity on the books to impress investors. In other words, as Dan Wooten said, holier than thou Harry, the man who hung his father out to dry for his connections to a rich Saudi prince looking for an honor, is nothing more than an expensive hired mouthpiece for another bunch of Silicon Valley snake oil salesmen. Harry sat down and did a Q&A session. Tell me if these words sound familiar to you. Initiative, global. Development, innovation. It's the same typical word salad that we hear in every single speech that the man gives. You know, I wonder if the Sussex Squad group would like to follow Harry's lead and quit their jobs. Go right ahead. How you're going to pay your bills, God only knows. But if Harry says it's a good idea, you should just do it. Now, Dan Wooten has spoken out and said that there has never been a more sickening illustration of a member of the royal family being so woefully out of touch with ordinary people. Dan pointed out that 3 weeks before Christmas, if you're not enjoying work, according to Harry, you should pack it in, walk out, and tell the boss to get stuffed. And I'm pretty sure that's easy for Harry to do since he had that huge trust fund sitting there. It's not like he actually had to, go find another job. But Harry has never experienced the fear felt by millions every day who work a multitude of jobs they don't like, but they do it to put food on the table. I completely agree with Dan Wooten. This is bad advice. Imagine what being unable to provide for your family will do for your mental health. But Harry's never had to deal with bounced checks or a car that suddenly breaks down, bills you're not expecting and things like that. He's never had to deal with any of that, so he has no clue. Also, he didn't take into consideration insurance, which is what jobs provide, which you have to have. He's never had to worry about any of it. Harry doesn't keep in mind that most working people, are only 2 or 3 paychecks away from losing everything they have. And that, my friends, is the fundamental difference between William and Harry. William finds his work difficult, but he keeps going, and he understands he has to keep going. Whereas every time Harry has a problem, he simply cries discrimination. Let's also not forget that this advice came from a man who quit his job, but still expected all the perks and job titles, plus a generous severance allowance from Daddy, all while trashing his family at every turn. And if quitting your job is supposed to be good for your mental health, then how come he doesn't stop whining all the time? And by the way, did anybody happen to notice that this was all released right after the whole scandal about the money he took from the Saudi prince? Because if you're talking about this, then you're not talking about that. Nice try to blow it off the pages. So Harry quit his job for his own mental health, wiped away his family, lost his military career, walked away from everything to make himself happy. It should be celebrated. So take a look at these and tell me if he looks like he's celebrating to you. Yeah, Harry looks really happy and content since he quit his job. Continuing on with our topic, I agree with American BRF fan who pointed out, rightfully so, that Harry is giving out mental health advice, but yet his wife's poor treatment of their staff caused them to leave for their mental health. Spot on. Today we're going to do something a little different. Instead of a Finn update, we're going to do a Tigger and Toodles update because people have asked to see more of the cats. So this is Toodles. She's a rescue. She's about 6 years old now. She can be really mean actually, but I'm sure deep down she's a very sweet cat. And this is my rescue, Tigger, who's often hiding, so I have to take pictures when I can get them. Tigger was found apparently as a kitten thrown in a huge garbage bin with some other little kittens. He's 15 and doing well. So, what do you guys think about Harry telling people it's a good thing to quit your job if you're unhappy? Don't worry about finding another one. Don't worry about how you're going to pay your bills. Imagine what that will do to your mental health, right? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified of future uploads. You know you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Gab. You know you can email me. If you donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys have a great day.